Men Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James, coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's major stories. President Tinubu appoints Ibrahim as CSC chairman. National Assembly announces April 14th and 15th for summit on budget reforms. Plus, Trump to consider asking Arab states to fund Iran war. We'll bring you details of the stories and more in just a moment. Please stay tuned. Good morning and many thanks for staying tuned. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has appointed former Senator Ibrahim as chairman of the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC). The appointment, which was announced in a statement issued by the President's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, notes that brings extensive experience in public administration and finance to his new role. Tinubu also nominated 7 individuals to fill vacant commissioner positions in the National Population Commission, subject to confirmation by the National Assembly. Onanuga further noted that the nominations were meant to complement other federal commissioners already sworn in at the Commission. Away from that, Vice President Kashim Shettima has called for a stronger partnership between the media and government. He urged journalists to deploy constructive engagement and critical thinking in strengthening the nation's democracy. Speaking at a public presentation of a book titled My Life and Journalist Hangout in Abuja, Shettima noted that the health of any democracy depends significantly on the vigilance and responsibility of the media. The Vice President said societies are not weakened by a lack of ideas, but by the absence of individuals willing to rigorously interrogate them. We move now to another development where the federal government has fixed 2028 and 2029 for the launch of 2 communications satellites as part of effort to strengthen security and expand digital connectivity. The Managing Director of Nigerian Communications Satellite Limited, Jen Ideyen, disclosed these at the 2nd Nigerian Satellite Week in Abuja, noting that the project has moved beyond procurement to the execution stage. Eratong Ideyen said the satellites are designed to enhance intelligence gathering, surveillance and connectivity across Nigeria and neighboring countries, particularly in support of security operations. Also speaking, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Boshin Tijani, said the satellite program forms part of a broader government strategy to deepen digital infrastructure nationwide. According to him, the initiative complements ongoing investments in fiber optic expansion and telecommunications infrastructure while extending connectivity beyond Nigeria's borders. Let's move now to the legislative chambers, where the National Assembly has announced plans to convene a high-level summit aimed at reforming the country's fiscal and development planning framework. The policy dialogue scheduled for April 14 and 15, 2026 will take place at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. This conference is organized by the House of Representatives Committee on National Planning and Economic Development in collaboration with key government institutions. The chairman of the committee, Boyega Isaka, who disclosed this while addressing journalists at the National Assembly complex in Abuja, stated that the summit will focus on bridging persistent gaps between national plans and budget implementation. Speaking on behalf of the Joint Senate and House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, Isaka said the dialogue is expected to bring together stakeholders from across government, the private sector and policy institutions to chart a more coherent and result-driven development path. He further explained that the initiative, being organized in collaboration with the Office of the Vice President, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of National Planning and the Budget Office of the Federation, will prioritize aligning the country's development agenda with its fiscal framework. Elsewhere, the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has called for decisive action from the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, following the latest wave of killings in Plateau State. In a post shared on a social media page, the lawmaker directly addressed the minister, urging him to move beyond assurance and deliver concrete security outcomes. Her comments followed a deadly attack on Sunday in Awawang, Rukuba and surrounding communities in just North local government area of Plateau State, where gunmen reportedly opened fire on residents. In a separate development, the Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Yusuf Sununu, has resigned to pursue a political career in Kebbi State. Confirming his resignation, Sununu said he stepped down in line with the country's rules for political office seekers. The former federal lawmaker who represented Shanga, Yuri, and Ngasi Federal Constituency is reportedly planning to contest for the Kebbi South Senatorial District seat in the 2027 elections. In the meantime, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, has also resigned from his position to pursue his governorship ambition in Bauchi State ahead of the 2027 general elections. Tuga, a member of the All Progressive Congress APC, reportedly submitted his resignation letter yesterday before the deadline set by the presidency. Recall that President Tinubu had directed all political appointees with electoral ambitions to vacate their offices on or before March 31st, 2026. We move now to judiciary, where Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court Abuja has restrained the Karibi Turaki-led National Working Committee (NWC) from gaining access into the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Abuja. Justice Abdul Malik also ordered security agencies, including the Nigerian Police Force (NPF), Department of State Services (DSS), among others, to give adequate protection to the PDP led by Abdulrahman Mohammed while assessing the secretariat. The judge held that the purported national convention held by the Turaki-led group on November 15 and 16, 2025 in Ibadan and the election of the party's officials against the valid court orders was a nullity. According to the judge, all proceedings, resolution and decision taken at the said convention, including the suspension of members of the first plaintiff, were unconstitutional and of no effect. Let's move now to Africa, where Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has urged his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump to help end the Middle East war, now in its second month. Sisi said this in a joint remarks to the press in Cairo alongside Cyprus President Nikos Christodoulides. Recall that the Egyptian president had previously appealed to his U.S. counterpart on matters of peace, telling Trump in October that he was the only one who could end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. On the foreign scene, the White House has said that U.S. President Donald Trump is considering calling on Arab nations to help cover the cost of a potential war with Iran. Speaking with newsmen, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated that the idea is one the president is interested in, adding that more details will be revealed in the coming days. Leavitt noted that diplomatic talks between the United States and Iran are still ongoing and progressing positively. However, she emphasized that Iran's public statement differs significantly from what is being communicated privately to U.S. officials. So on the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that more than half of his military aims had been achieved. Meanwhile, Iran has launched missiles across the Middle East early today in response to fresh Israeli strikes in its capital, Tehran. Now, this is hours after Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made the comment. Also, a Kuwait oil tanker carrying millions of barrels caught fire after being hit, as officials say the 24 crew aboard are safe and the blaze is under control. Reports say President Donald Trump issues new threats to obliterate Iran's power plant, oil wells and water desalination plant if a deal is not reached shortly. Still to come in the news. Late strike seals 2-1 victory for Germany over Ghana in friendly match. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Spectrum News at 10. Let's head over now to the concluding part of today's stories. On our business news, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Olawale Edun, has disclosed that Nigeria has a $14 million on infrastructure investment gap, for which it continues to seek both domestic and foreign investment. Edun stated this in Lagos when he and the head of the Islamic Development Bank, Ansa Asisami, signed the 2026 to 2028 partnership agreement at the ISDB Group Day in Nigeria. Noting the annual $14 million infrastructure gap, Edun said it had become imperative for the government to leverage strategic partnerships to bridge the gap and fast-track development. According to him, the partnership will support scalably and transformative projects under the federal government renewed Help Infrastructure Development Fund. Still in business, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has said it will make enough fuel available to Nigerians as it urged the government to provide adequate crude oil to the Lekki-based plant. The company said it would have to export its product if it keeps importing crude oil for its production. The president of the group, Dangote, Aliko Dangote, told reporters that the facility was almost running out of aviation fuel and diesel, but had petrol in excess. Let's move now to a health news where medical experts have called on the federal government to make blood pressure medications free and more accessible to Nigerians, warning that the rising cost of treatment is worsening the burden of hypertension across the country. They noted that many patients are unable to afford essential drugs, a situation contributing to poor disease control and increasing the risk of complications. The experts stressed that hypertension, which affects about 1 in 3 adults in Nigeria, requires lifelong treatment, adding that high drugs costs and limited access to care are major barriers to effective management. They also warned that failure to address these challenges could undermine efforts to reduce death linked to cardiovascular diseases. We move now to sports where Germany has secured a 2-1 victory over Ghana in an international friendly match. The first half saw Germany dominate possession, pressing consistently in the search of an opener, paying off in stoppage time when a VAR review awarded a penalty after a handball by Ghana's Jonas Adechate. Kai Havertz stepped up and converted from the spot, giving Germany a 1-0 lead going into the break. Ghana returned in the second half, creating chances and testing the Germans' defense. Their efforts, however, were rewarded in the 70th minute when substitute Abdul Fatawu made an instant impact, finishing clinically to level the score at 1-1 and shift the momentum of the game. As both sides pushed for a winner, the breakthrough came late in the 88th minute when Leroy Sane delivered an assist, allowing Denis Undev to slot home the decisive goal and restore Germany's lead. Despite a spirited push from Ghana in the closing minute, including attacking attempt from Antonio Semedo, Germany held firm to secure the win. Still in sport, the Ghana Football Association GFA has sacked head coach Otu Ado just 3 months before the 2026 FIFA World Cup, plunging the Black Stars into uncertainty at a critical juncture of their preparations. The decision, confirmed in a statement issued today, came hours after Ghana's friendly 2-1 defeat to Germany at the MHP Arena in Stuttgart. Ado has led the Black Stars for 2 years and 16 days with a record of 8 wins, 5 draws and 9 losses. On entertainment news, Nollywood actor Zubi Michael has sparked reactions after calling on Christians in Jos Plateau State to flee the city. Michael made the call while reacting to the terrorist attack in Anwan Rukuba area of the city on Sunday, where dozens of people were reportedly killed. He, however, added that nemesis would catch up with the terrorists. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emedion James, and you've been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.